guys, I'm going to do another 12 by 12 layout today, and I'm going to be using this sketch from Becky Fleck's book Pagemaps. The sketch is designed for an 8.5 by 11 layout, so I just tweaked it a little bit so it would work for 12 by 12. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to color these white American Crafts thickers with Maroon Colorbox Chalk Ink. I like to buy the white thickers, and this font is Sprinkles, which is my favorite. And then I color them with my inks, and that way I can customize them to match any layout I want. It's really easy for me. And I don't have to have a huge variety of thickers. I just have a few packs of the fonts that I like best, and that works really well for me. So what I'm doing is I'm just going over making sure I have good color saturation, making sure I get exactly the color I want, that the letters are all colored sort of to the same level. And now see here, there's a little strip bordering the photo strip there on the side. I'm actually going to cut 2 strips of orange cardstock and use those instead of matting it directly on orange cardstock. And this piece of craft cardstock that I'm using as my base, I buy this craft in bulk. You get like 250 sheets at a time for very inexpensively actually. So, and it is acid free. And it's also recycled. So I really use this a lot for the base of layouts, and then I can be sparing with my cardstock and patterned paper. And I just need enough to sort of go behind the photos and trick the eye into thinking that there's more there than is really there. And you'll see what I mean in a second. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these 2 orange strips down. Now I'm going to adhere my photos directly to this piece of craft cardstock, and it'll look like the photos are matted on a 6 by 12 piece of cardstock. So now I'm just putting adhesive on the back of this photo, and the adhesive gun I use is the 3M ATG 700. If you just Google 3M ATG 700, you'll get plenty of hits. I got mine from a company called Framing Supplies, which is framingsupplies.com. So now I'm using a ruler with a 0 point in the center to line up my photo and get it evenly spaced between the 2 sides so that I have an even border on each edge. And then I'm going to adhere the rest of my photos down to the strip. I'm going to speed it up here. Speedy scrapping. So I now have this element that I can easily place on my layout. So I'm going to start building the rest of the layout. Here's my journaling, and I pre-printed my journaling on grid paper. So even when I do computer journaling, I often like to put it on grid paper, and I used a handwriting font so it would look like I hand wrote it. So I just adhered that piece of Fancy Pants Summer Soiree paper to the edge there, and that's going to form the right border of the page. And now I'm adhering my journaling in the bottom left corner. The journaling is 5 by 7, and the picture above it is 5 by 5. I'm taking another little strip of paper, and again, this is another little sort of illusion. It's going to look like that cardstock is actually matted again on pattern paper, but it's really just little strips. Because you can see here, I'm just putting this strip right alongside the photos, and that's going to form a border. And then I'm going to take the other little piece and I'm going to adhere it to the back of the photo mat so I can get it exactly the right distance. And then I'm going to glue the whole thing down to the page. And at this point, I've pretty much got all my photos and pattern paper exactly where I want them, and now I'm just going to work on the title. I'm using a journaling spot from the Summer Soiree collection by Fancy Pants, and I'm just using it as a base for my title. I could have put my title directly in that white space, but this is actually going to add a little different of a shape and give it a little more texture and a little more of a layered look. So now I'm adding my letters. And I'm just going to kind of fidget with them a little bit and get them exactly where I want them. You can see I moved them around quite a bit. And that's why I don't ever stick thickers down. I just set them down, and then once I have them exactly where I want, then I really press them down to get good contact with the paper. Now I'm going to take StazOn ink in Jet Black and just do a very thin line around the edges. And I'm using StazOn because some of the edges are photos, so I need something that will stay on a non-porous surface. So that just adds, and it's hard to see in the photo, but that just adds a sort of a weight around the edges, frames it out. Now I didn't like that white space at the bottom. It was kind of bugging me, so I decided to just add a little bit of a handwritten note. And I like how it looks a lot better once that handwritten note is added there. And I also really like that it has my handwriting on the page in addition to the printed journaling. So I drew a little exclamation point with a heart. And now I'm just filling that in with one of my Sakura Pigma microns in a similar maroon color to that I used for the font. So here's the completed layout. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.